do well against Urgot. So, a lot of times you don't see him banned, but that's always a potential. Rise is obviously a potential. He did see a bit of a nerf to his range for his Q. It was about 50 range loss, but even so, his whole kit is about the same, and the movement speed on his ultimate just allows him to deal so much damage. I mean, he's really just such an all-around, top pick. So Rise is always common. Karthus, if you're trying to run a heavy melee team, Karthus is always a pick. I mean, Ocelot plays a lot of casts and has in the past, so we'll have to see, what happens. There's a number of really top tier picks right now. A lot of it comes down to what kind of comps you're trying to run.
Yeah, and you see also like Karthus. I feel for the EU side, Karthus is banned a lot more in the EU. I feel than he is in NA, and I think it just sort of speaks to the different metas we have worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, I think that NA players agree and understand that Karthus is very strong. They just don't like his style of play. He's got a very different style of play from everyone else. He's one of those hyper carry mids. So, obviously late game is very strong. We did start seeing some Karthus coming back into play at IPL4, but he's all around a very strong champion. He's a very safe champion. You can farm against anyone. But the issue is he loses the lane to almost everyone. He can farm very well, but he doesn't, early game, he doesn't provide you with a ton of aggression. He doesn't, go out and win early fights. He has his ultimate, which is obviously very strong. But yeah. I think NA teams tend to like more aggressive mids like Ahri. Obviously, the big example is like LeBlanc on TSM, but any number of champions. So we'll have to see. Ahri and Shen, very common bans. Until Shen gets his ult nerf, he's going to be pretty common because he can control the lane well and then has that split pushing capability.
Yep. And Morgana also, as always, been super strong in the mid for the longest time. You have the shield, you have the ultimate. Farms very passively in lane, not that just very safe in the mid. They don't have to deal with that, and very rough, very hard to gank in the mid as well. So we got two more bans coming in, one from each team. Urgot, Ahri, Shen, Morgana so far, and so Ahri, I've been seeing a lot more Ahri bans myself as well. As the charm is amazing, the mobility is crazy, and there it is. We got the Mundo ban coming in from SKD. Do not want to have to deal with him in the jungle.
Yeah, it's Ahri and Morgana are both very safe mid champions. Both of them can farm against almost anyone. They can pick up kills against almost anyone. Morgana tends to turn it into more of a free farm lane, but in a competitive setting, you want to be safe when you can be safe and have very safe lanes, but then have champions that are very versatile. And Ahri doesn't really lose outright to anyone, and in team fights, obviously, she's very safe, so she can, beat almost anyone. So she's just an all-around strong pick, can pick up kills, snowball the game for you. And then Janna as well, top-tier support.
Yeah, I think they saw top 5. I think they saw Ocelot with Janna, and it's like, no, we don't want to deal with Janna mid.
Of course.
We don't want to.
Was going to play AP Janna in this match.
AP Janna mid no, we're not having any of that. As much as I would love to see that in a pro match like this, that'd be hilarious to me. But but we got Nautilus first pick for SK. Probably going to be seeing him in the jungle.
Yeah, Nautilus is definitely one of the strongest junglers in the game right now. The amount of CC he brings to the table and how naturally tanky he gets, because you don't need to build any damage on Nautilus. You can just build those gold pretends and then, get a quick tank build. He really is just an all-around fantastic pick. He's a little bit slower than a number of junglers, but he does have a pretty fast clear speed. The only issue is if he falls behind. But even so, he's going to be a great late game threat. And the big thing about Nautilus is you can run a heavy range team or a squishy team behind him. I've seen a lot of double AD comps run with Nautilus, and Nautilus has enough CC. He's just that frontline tank. You have all this damage behind you, these glass cannons, and he's just like, I don't care. You're not getting to my back line. This is the wall. I am setting it forth right here.
So we're thinking about Soraka, we're thinking about Lee Sin. I would love to see Soraka bot play Soraka. That'd be so literal, but probably not going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know what he plays. I'm assuming he's a jungler just because of the whole Evelynn jungle thing, but I really have absolutely no idea. We do know Osoft is a support from his days with SK, so Soraka just an all-around strong support, does have that sustain lane, and with Janna gone, it will be interesting to see what kind of support we have. We could see a kill bot lane for SK, and we'll have to see what they kind of bring out to the table.
And for the longest time, we were saying, Soraka nerfed, Soraka nerfed, Soraka nerfed, but we keep forgetting, that heal has that armor bonus along with it. And maybe, maybe the Soraka pick was a nice little signal. It's like, oh, they're going Nautilus. They may actually go with that double AD comp, like you said. So we need something to counteract that, and Soraka is a perfect pick.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And the concern with Soraka, of course, so there we go, a really aggressive team. And I really like this matchup because, Soraka is definitely really strong in that lane. Later in the game, her heals are just ridiculous and the armor she provides. However, we have a kill bot lane with Vayne and Alistar, one of the most aggressive lanes in the game, coupled with a hyper-aggressive jungler with Nautilus. So the key for crowd control is obviously going to be warding around that bottom lane, just keeping good vision, because any misstep, any misplay at all, and they are going down. Like, there's no question about it with how much kill potential they have bottom. And then, obviously, once they hit 6, they have the threat of Alistar going to be, moving under that tower. There's always the potential that Alistar isn't support, that it's like a jungle Alistar or something, but that's most likely support. Now they have their top and mid lane still open for those counter picks, and Mord is definitely a champion that you want to counter pick.
Yeah, Mord, really just his biggest thing, push, 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 push. That's all really he does. But I also can feel that, actually Renekton top lane. I can see a lot of good coming from that.
Yeah, I'm actually liking that a little bit better than the Mord pick. Yeah. Because the issue with Mord, obviously, Mord can farm pretty safely against everyone. However, he doesn't have a lot of mobility. Before he hits level 6, he is one of the squishiest lanes in the game. Mm-hmm. And you couple that against a jungler that can gank as early as level 2 and that has just super aggressive ganks constantly. That would result in a lot of aggression in that mid lane. If they pick up some early kills on Mord, they could completely shut him down. And then, obviously, if you ward around the race, if he's ever caught out of position in the river, very quickly he could find himself in a bad situation. Yep. Renekton, on the other hand, has great mobility and has just such great top lane control. He's one of the strongest top laners in the game, even though people don't play him a lot, because he does kind of fall off as the game progresses, but he can get that early game advantage for them.
Yeah, then also Mord really works well in a lot of double AP comps, because one of the big things he buys Revolver, Woda, to get a sustain up, and it works really well if you have a Vlad top or a Kennen top. Speaking of Vlad, we actually got Vlad. It looks like we're going to be seeing Vlad in the mid here from SK. We actually could. We're going to see Nautilus in jungle, Warwick top lane more than likely. So we still have one more pick from crowd control. But I'm looking at the team setup that SK has now, and I feel that crowd control has kind of shot themselves in the foot here with the Janna ban, because Janna would be excellent against this entire SK lineup. Just, they're trying to get in Janna ult Tornado just to try and disengage. So I think SK really picked up on that. It's like, they banned Janna. Well, you know what? Let's pick everyone that Janna does well against.
Yeah, it is, definitely a concern, but at the same time, SK had first pick, so yeah. It's likely they would pick Janna. I mean, she's a very strong all-around support, but definitely has weaknesses. And Ziggs would definitely be an interesting pick. Now, the thing that's interesting about Renekton, not only is he one of the most aggressive lanes top, he would actually, beat Vladimir in lane if it was a Vladimir versus Renekton lane. So you're right, it is smarter to send that Warwick in that top lane. Just because he has the heal, he can match up a little bit better. But Renekton, obviously, the melee versus melee, has the damage output to easily pick up kills, so they're going to want to watch out there. But the thing with Renekton is not only is he strong in that lane, but he also is kind of he's similar to Nautilus in that early in the game and through the mid game, he's just this tanky frontline body. He doesn't allow you to get past him. He can just sit there and soak up a ton of damage, particularly with the heals from Soraka and that armor bonus. And then that allows the range of Graves and Ziggs to shine through. And then as the game progresses, Ziggs obviously has that great poking capability, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he can wear them down at all.
Yeah, so I think crowd control, they really had two options with their AP mid. We can either just go for straight, flat-out bunch of damage, which Ziggs, I feel, provides in spades quite a bit. I think they also could have had options for more of a disruption AP mid. Possibly we could have gone with Galio. We could have gone with Fizz. I think this may actually be even a good instance for an Orianna.
For which team?
For mid, for crowd control.
Yeah, Orianna actually would have been interesting because we actually have a very short-range team from SK, so all these kind of melee figures, Vayne, they will be kind of clumped up in an area. Then you can actually throw the ball onto Renekton. He jumps in. Then you don't have to worry about the fact that Orianna, one of her weaknesses is she has short range. So you throw the ball on Renekton. He would jump in. You get a great AoE. It would actually be a pretty cool team. The issue is, whether or not they have enough damage to follow up with it, because Orianna, once some of her abilities are down, obviously she loses a lot of damage.
Right.
But regardless, I would agree. SK has a superior lineup. It'll be key to how they can win matchups. And Renekton should have an advantage top lane, and Lee Sin is a faster jungler than Nautilus, and he's an all-around just strong champion. Nautilus does have the gank advantage, though. He's a little bit stronger with ganks, though Lee Sin is also very strong with ganks. So it really comes down to how it's played. The Ziggs pick is very interesting. I'm sure we have, one of the guys in our office is just always thrilled to death whenever he sees Ziggs. So hopefully he's watching this and he's just like jumping for joy right now.
Bouncing in his chair. He's got those little. He actually got a little plush Ziggs bomb from one of our guests here at the IPL4. So he's clutching that. He's got his he's eating a Pop Tart, drinking some milk. It's like, yay! It's time for a weekday morning Ziggs.
There we go.
He's on the couch.
That has to be what's happening.
He's in his office chair. He's in his pajamas. He's bouncing up and down. He's like, "Yay, Ziggs! Yay!" Like just like morning cartoons.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. The Ziggs pick, you don't see Ziggs a lot. He was played a little bit when he originally came out because he actually does have a lot of damage. He has some nice CC. Mostly you pick him for the damage. And in the mid lane, he actually does very well against Vladimir. He's got the ranged harass where early levels before Vladimir obviously gets a revolver. And because Woda has been pushed back a little bit, that's a nerf to Vlad.
Yes.
He's only going to have the revolver for a long time. Ziggs can actually zone Vladimir quite well. So he's got his Q will be able to land some quick shots. His passive, very quickly he can burst Vladimir down. And then actually he can just wall off the lane with his E or his W. So I think that's probably where they were going with the Ziggs pick. Is their thought is, all right, let's try and win these lanes. If we win the lanes, shut down the farm, we'll see where to go from there. And that's their primary goal. But the concern is obviously that SK has just such a phenomenal lineup for later on in the game.
Yes.
Once they have, Vladimir, once he gets farmed, he is one of those just great snowballing carries. He's just got such great persistent damage. Then you couple it with all of these CCs. So, who are the targets? Well, if we can shut down Ziggs or Graves or Soraka with the Warwick ult and pick them off, we pick someone off, follow it up with the Nautilus hook, follow it up with Alistar and Vayne and whatnot. Very quickly you can pick up kills, and then regardless, you have Vayne and Vladimir as two hyper carries in the back. Vayne is one of the highest damage carries in the game. She'll be sitting in that back line, being able to deal all of her damage, and in the meantime, all these tanks up front can throw disruption for her. And so it's going to be very difficult for them to get into the back line of SK. They're going to have to just sit there and watch as Vayne and Vladimir tear them apart. However, they do have the range damage. They do have nice AoE. So if they can get that, poke going on or some nice burst damage on that front line, they can pull out, maybe make some things happen.
Yep. I mean, I do feel though if crowd control, if Renekton gets sufficiently denied farm, if they get a few good kills on him, he's their main front line champ. And if they shut him down, they could be in a lot of trouble.
I mean, that's one of the benefits of Renekton, though, is that even if he's doing poorly, which is very unusual because Renekton is just such a strong laning champion that it's very difficult to shut him down. Even if he does poorly, really the way to shut him down is you send your AD and support top. But even if he's doing poorly, he's still going to be very tanky later on in the game, and they do have Lee Sin as well. So they have, they're both kind of assassin bruisers that can get into that back line. And because Vayne is short range, there is some potential there where they can, disrupt her a little bit. And then you couple it with the fact that they have the Sorakas, so the heals will be there. And right now we see, I think they're a little bit concerned about invasion, or maybe they're actually going to come down for the blue. We'll have to see whether or not they take a nice little path there. But right now, SK doesn't want to fight at all. They have a pretty strong level 1, but they just kind of want to sit back and farm. They're not going to invade, so they're just keeping watch for a second.
When Alistar, one of the best champs you could ever have for a level 1 fight. I mean, just flash, pulverize. Actually, I just realized this. Alistar's got flash ignite for the bot lane. They're really, really looking to get some kills down there. Jeez, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's pretty common, and the exhaust is, obviously nice. It's just an all-around strong ability.
Yeah.
They didn't take the exhaust, but the big thing is they have so much CC already. As long as they get in range, the range for the exhaust and his headbutt are the same range. So as long as they were able to get in range for exhaust, they'd already be in range for the rest of their CC, and then they can chain CC. So it's not really a concern. And right now they are grabbing those golems down bottom, so they will have that early level advantage. So the big concern for crowd control is we're going going to have a ton of burst potential because they're going to hit level 2. They're going to have all of those CCs, and that's when they're going to look for kills at level 2.
So we also see Ziggs here. He's helping out. He's helping out Lee Sin just a little bit to grab that red pretty quick, pretty early. So we may see a Lee Sin gank level 2 top lane, and the red actually resets. How unfortunate. He's going to be behind a little bit more on that. So Renekton has to stay for a little while to help him out with that. And we also see a bot lane. So we got the little bit of experience boost for SK here in bot lane. And those golems were sped up a little bit a few patches ago to make it a little less easy to try and take those early. But Limelight actually getting really aggressive here on Ocelot in the mid lane, and that's what Ziggs needs to do early. You get that extra ranged harass down on Vlad. He's going to be a little bit behind early on if he can't farm against this pressure.
Yeah, though it seemed that Vlad was doing pretty well so far, but we do have the level 2. They are pushed up a little bit because obviously crowd control being a little bit defensive, they want to allow them to push them under their towers, so they will be okay here. And it will be interesting to see how this top lane goes from now on, because Warwick has a little bit more regen than Renekton has. Renekton has plenty of sustain as well with his Q, so he's going to be fine, but obviously Renekton has a lot more damage. So, once we hit like level 4 for Renekton is when you start ramping up the aggression, then really to level 5. And if we see a jungle gank, there's a ton of kill potential. You just see how much damage he has already at only level 2.
Yeah, because Warwick, he's somewhat predictable when he farms. He's like, hey, I'm coming in for my Q. I'm going to get a whole bunch of health back, and Renekton can just come by and nope, and just stun him. But we actually got Nautilus now coming in from behind. We may actually get that grab here onto Piranbear. He comes in, he just stuns it right up front. He just gets there with the root right down there. Ignite goes down. Going to get the Q and get last damage we need. Yes, we can. First blood going to Kevin in the top lane. And Renekton now quite behind early on.
And that's always the concern is, Nautilus is just such a fantastic early jungler, has such great aggression. You really need to get out some early wards. A lot of times you'll see teams, their support will run up and just kind of put key wards around the map, even in top lane, so you can be safe for a little bit. Now that he has a ward, he should be a little bit better. But even so, that's just devastating to lose any early kills top lane, because top lane can snowball out of control so quickly.
And so we got still in the we got Limelight now actually being pushed a little bit to tower on his own. Ocelot doing okay. He's gotten health back. The creep score is even in mid. He's doing okay for himself despite the fact that he's against a champ that can harass at range pretty well. We also take a look at the creep score here on bottom, still pretty even down here as well. But Lee Sin, Sarakabot coming in on Ocelot. Will we see a pull? Yes, we will. A little bit too late. We could have pulled earlier, could have avoided that Q, but you know what? Still, we're safe for now.
Yeah, and they have a nice little chunk of damage, and Vladimir is pushed up to the Ziggs' tower, so right now he's zoned a little bit. He's not going to be able to farm as effectively, and there's always that threat of another gank coming in with Lee Sin. He's actually coming in once again. He's not going to get in range. Oh, well, actually he is, so getting some nice damage once again, and Ocelot is going to be forced to back while the lane is pushed. When he gets back, it will have pushed back to him, but he is going to be about almost a level behind in experience from Ziggs.
Yeah, because that pool pretty costly to use to get away. A nice little chunk percentage calculated health in order to use that pool to try and get away or do whatever you need to do. And actually, in the meantime, Nautilus is actually going to come in the mid, cover just a little bit, grab some of those creep experience because he is being pushed to tower. So there's a little bit of free experience for him. He's in the neighborhood, might as well. So Nautilus now returning back to the jungle. Renekton getting as much damage as he can on to Kevin here in the bot lane. Nif being caught out in bot a little while, just getting silenced like, nah, cow, shut up, get out of here.
Yeah, and you see in this top lane the long sustain from Warwick just being pretty effective, but he is pretty low, so we are in that kill potential range for Renekton. He does have his Ignite still, so any second now, we could see Renekton just dive onto Warwick, and with Lee Sin coming top as well, there's a lot of kill potential here. Warwick does have the movement speed bonus from his passive, but even so, it's a big threat. He's going to want to play back and allow them to push into the lane for him, and then he'll be safe to farm under tower.
Did not see him come into the top lane bush. He's not quite aware that he's there, but Nautilus is now sneaking around. He did get spotted. There are wards in the river here, so he's going to have a little bit of a hard time trying to get the jump here on Ziggs in the mid, but he's actually wandering towards top. Lee Sin pushing through again. to that top bush and flash away from Warwick. He has to get away there, but here comes Nautilus now coming in to try and make something happen with the counter gank. Ult going down onto Renekton to grab. Lee Sin gets in the way just in time. Ignite going down on Renekton. He should be able to get away. Oh, we got the flash in coming from Nautilus. One more smack. Yes. Wow, good job.
Yeah, Sorakabot almost trying to, stop that gank there, but the flash in from Nautilus, he's just so difficult to get away from. And they probably should have had that kill onto Warwick if they had timed that a little better, get up the stun.
Whoa.
But there it is, the stun from Panda coming in onto Osaf, followed up by Nif, and they're able to pick up the kill in that bottom lane. It's just so much aggression. And, Soraka, she has the burst heals, but with the chain CC, she can't get him off, so it will be very difficult for her to, sustain in that lane. They will want to sit back, be very safe, but that is going to result in the farm advantage for Candy Panda.
See, that's the thing playing against Vayne Alistar. It's really rough. It's a really aggressive lane. You can see they've been pushing bot lane for quite a while, but it's really a game of angles in the mid because you saw the angles there on that. Oh, we got Nautilus coming in. He was spotted into the river. Can we get the one? Whoa, nice satchel charge from Ziggs, and the miss on the hook brings himself into the tower range. Is going to be losing out on about half of his health. Unfortunate. But like I was saying earlier, though, playing against Vayne, it really is a game of angles because if you get caught out in the wrong instance, I mean, we saw in this little area here, these rocks, that's where Soraka was pinned up against. And it's a very hard shot to make, but it is a shot you can make. And if you hit it, free pulverized headbutt, you're dead.
Yeah, that's always one of my favorite combos with Alistar, but actually we have Ocelot coming into the limelight. He doesn't have enough mana for his ultimate or another Q, so he will be able to get out of there, baiting the ultimate there, or baiting the ignite, sorry, and then able to get out of there with the pull. So excellent play from Ocelot, and now when he comes back into the lane, he knows that he's kind of got that advantage. Pulling off to the side, to avoid the ultimate.
He got the mana for the bomb. Decided he was like, you know what, he may be there, let's take a guess. And you know what, it's not a bad guess. You have your bomb, you have your mana. It's going to be coming back soon anyway. It's an ult, it'll always come back. You're going to have the back to get mana anyway, so might as well take a shot. But we actually got the Warwick ultimate coming here on Limelight. We got the ultimate from Nautilus coming in. He's trying to retreat back to tower. Can we get the extra Qs we need? Kevin taking the turret, but Limelight able to get away just in time.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised there. Nautilus, he had the open hook while Warwick still had the ult on. He threw off the ultimate, and because of the casting time of the ultimate, it gave Ziggs time to get out of there. So Ziggs was able to get out of there. Warwick does have his ult down now. He's missing a little bit of health. He'll regen that pretty quickly, but this is a good opportunity for Renekton to kind of bully him around a little bit. He is down a level because of, obviously, those two ganks early. That's just devastating. And then actually, Warwick picking up the fast Glacial Shroud, so a really smart build there. He knows, all right, we've got all this physical damage. Ziggs is obviously the only damage, but actually we see Lee Sin coming in the mid lane. He's actually diving after Ocelot. He will get the slow off. Ocelot's going to be able to pull out of there. But with all the physical damage that they have on crowd control, there's a headbutt. And Alistar is still in pursuit. He will get off the smoke, so he's going to get out of there. But there's actually the wall. It's not going to hit.
Almost gets him into the wall there onto that angle. Far as just be barely able to make it away, but got a key from Lee Sin. Satchel charge brings Alistar backwards. Will die to the Ziggs bomb, and I think this could be a dragon here for crowd control. They're clearing off the ward right in front of the pit, getting more wards down, and they're going to go ahead and take this first dragon. But Nautilus, Vladimir, Ocelot, he's got something to say about it. They see him coming down in the river, but they're dragging the dragon out of the pit, and they're just going to go ahead and back off. They could have dragged, it's a little bit risky knowing that Nautilus was nearby as well. So he decided, let's back off, let's take our kill and secure our own blue, and Ziggs will take that in the mid with him.
Even at this point in the game, SK just has such far superior fighting capabilities, so it's really down to crowd control to pick and choose their battles and get some nice small fights. As the game progresses, we have just so much CC from SK, and then, like I was saying, the Glacial Shroud going to be a Frozen Heart, so that's going to shut down a lot of their damage output.
Yes.
And it's also going to allow Warwick to fight in lane very easily. He's going to have an much easier job against Renekton. So Renekton not really able to get off the bat like he wants to. He will be okay for farming, but Warwick, with the 2-level advantage, can probably start harassing him down some and, not have to worry about any repercussions.
See, Renekton, he's died twice already. He's 2 levels down. He's bought the double Null Magic Mantle to try and reduce the harass, reduce the damage from the Q from Warwick, but it can only do so much when you're so far behind in XP. He's having so much difficulty farming top lane now because of the early advantage that Warwick has got. He's gotten a kill, he's gotten an assist, he's 30 creep kills ahead. That is crazy. That is just way too much of an advantage to give someone top lane. We get the headbutt. Oh, wow. The flash away from Alistar, barely missing the headbutt. But actually, here we are. We see crowd control taking this dragon.
But you see how much pressure Alistar is putting on that bottom lane. And so
Yep.
Graves has been playing very defensively for a while. He's kind of sitting far back, and he knows if he gets just slightly too close, he's going to go down. We do have the ultimate, though. There's the flash in and the headbutt pulverized from Nip. He's going to get on Sirakarbat, the ignite going off.
Yes.
So there's the first kill. Vayne, almost able to get out of Limelight's ultimate, is going to go down, though. Limelight's fine, but we have Dedrayon coming in onto Osaf. He is going to be very close to going down, but actually the flash is going to get him out of range. Now they're still coming in, trying to get any more kills, but they will be pretty safe. The only concern is Vladimir sitting up there waiting in the bushes. He will TP out of there, so he's able to recall. So an all-around, successful fight for crowd control. They're able to pick up the dragon, and they're able to pick up a kill as well. 1 for 1.
1 for 1, taking dragon, so we got a little bit more of a gold buy back here. There's still 1k behind, not too much, but actually we got the flash ult in from Kevin onto Graves. Gets ignited, gets ulted. We got the ult come in from Nautilus. There you got 3 men diving here in the mid. Can we pick up the Graves? Who's tanking the tower? Warwick is taking the tower. He's got a little bit of a stain on him. Can we? Ooh. Barely gets away. 60 health.
And Alistar was actually just slightly out of the range for Graves, so he
Yeah.
was trying to get the headbutt pulverized combo, and just actually didn't hit it, so he mistimed it, wasn't able to get it off the headbutt. So unfortunately, they weren't able to pick up that kill. Lee Sin going to come up, be able to pick up this red buff now, and we'll see whether or not they can start picking up some kills. They are doing pretty well for themselves. We do have an early advantage for SK, though, and it's a pretty sizable farm advantage for SK, which is the concern. So they're winning both mid lane and top lane. Ziggs is farming very effectively, but so is Vladimir. He hasn't shut him down at all, and Ocelot is going to be an absolute monster coming into this mid game.
But we see Ziggs actually doing much. He's pursuing. We get the satchel charge in to try and close the gap here. Bouncy bomb. Ocelot has no choice but to pull to escape the bomb, but we see here Lee Sin once again sneaking into the top bushes. No idea. Kevin's here. We got the stun. We got the ultimate coming in from Renekton. They're getting this dive down in the queue from Sirakarbat. Will finish the job. And bot lane, we also see Graves getting a little bit aggressive here, but you know what? We may actually have this tower down, but Nautilus has something to say about it. This guy here, can we get one brute? No, he's just pushing them away for now. They got a kill, but they will not get a tower while he is around.
And so even though Renekton is just so far behind in that lane, Warwick obviously has the harass exchange now, but Renekton still has a lot of kill potential. And you are seeing in that mid lane, Ziggs just really effective harass against Vladimir. And because of the delay to the Woda, that is obviously he's not going to be able to sustain as much as he would like to. So just really effective play there. Wearing him down once again. And Ocelot, Vladimir is a pretty short-range, mid carry, so you need to get right up in close to the creeps, whereas Ziggs obviously has the range advantage, so he can't even farm safely at this point, though he has been doing a pretty fantastic job. Oh, wow.
I thought that was going to do it. I really thought that was going to do it. It was so close, but we tried it before. In Ocelot, he's staying in lane. He just wants to try and get one creep just to eat. He just wants lunch. Oh, we got the flash. Ooh. Flash in from Ziggs and preemptive pull from Ocelot. Very, very nice timing on that, but Ziggs, Nautilus is coming into the mid. He wants to chase him down and just scare him away. He's like, hey, stay away from my friend. He forgot his lunch money. He just wants to go home, grab his lunchbox. It's got Spider-Man on it. You can't miss it, but here he is, and we got the but pulverize here on the bot lane once again, but Lee Sin is here to help save the day. Now Alistar and Vayne, they have no choice. They have to run away. We got the ult popped from Vayne, but we're actually going to pick up Graves in the process, and now Lee Sin's a little bit too far out away from Soraka. Can we get the dive? We got the dragon kick onto Vayne. Is not going to be able to finish the job. 25 health, and now here comes Nautilus. We get the pull into here on Lee Sin, and the auto attacks should be able to take this one. Whoa, yeah, there we go. There we go. I thought I was waiting for it. A red buff will finish it.
Yeah, just awesome kiting by Candy Panda, able to, work back and forth on the Graves, wearing him down, able to pick up the kill there, and actually, just narrowly avoiding that death from Lee Sin. Just, not enough damage. Sirakarbat got to be kicking himself for that. So once again, Warwick has a huge advantage. There's the ignite, followed by
Hex
the ultimate.
Drinker.
But the Hex Drinker, you're right, the shield, followed by the ultimate from Renekton. He has plenty of health now. He almost could have fought that, but actually Ocelot dueling. There is the ignite.
What?
Wow!
What?
Able to pick up the kill on
What?
the Ziggs. Just
What?
barely surviving that one last combo. The transfusion was able to get him out of there.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
actually go back in time. We got the rewinds. Let's see the 15 seconds one more time. Well, we missed it.
Yeah, we pushed it back too far.
Oh, well, it should be up shortly.
Wow, that was crazy. We have to see this again. We have to see this again. Look at this. Comes in. We got the pull. We got the ignite coming here in onto the limelight. What did you see that? Did you see how much damage that thing just did? Oh my god.
Yeah, really effective play by Ocelot. He knows the damage output so well of his champion. It's just really pushing it to the edge, and
it's really scary.
It looked like Limelight should have had the kill, but an early advantage for SK despite Crowd Control's best efforts. And we do have a pretty decently farmed Vladimir at this point. He is actually building towards a relay, so he's not going to go for the Woda initially. It's a little bit too expensive now. It's still a fantastic item to upgrade, and obviously he will upgrade it as the game progresses. But right now, get a little bit health, get a little bit more soft CC to combo with all of the hard CC that you have on your team. And with that HP, they won't be able to burst him down with the Ziggs combo, and he's just going to be very safe sitting in that back line, throwing off all of his AoE damage.
So top lane, we see Renekton. He's almost 11. And Kevin right here, he's almost 12. So we've closed the gap just a little bit top lane. And you know what? I mean, I love Hexdrinker. Hexdrinker is such a clutch item in situations like that where you're up against someone top lane who does a lot of magic damage. And that saved him. It saved his ass. Literally, like under tower. Like the shield absorbed all of the damage from the Warwick ult. It was amazing. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and it should be interesting to see how the game progresses for Crowd Control, but Vayne, actually, we have another combo from Alistar. He's going to back off. We do have Lee Sin coming down. Vayne has a big advantage over Graves right now, and Graves just a really strong champion, but Vayne, the passive, actually does very well. And the fact that Vayne went for a Bloodthirster as opposed to the Wriggles that Graves has, she's going to have plenty of damage output and try and prevent him from farming right now. So it'll be key to see whether or not Graves can continue up the farm. There is a lot of kill potential there. They are sitting in that bottom bush. Graves just going to barely be sitting out of range. But in the meantime, Ocelot chasing down Limelight here. He's going to back off for a second. They don't have very good vision. They are kind of all grouping up. We'll see where this goes.
See, now we got all the wards coming in on Dragon. They saw the pink ward go down in front of the pit. So SK, they know they're looking to engage on this once again. Lee Sin getting a little bit too overzealous. We got all these wards here now in by the Dragon pit. All the SK stuff. We got one right here. We got one in this bush as well. Right here from Crowd Control, we got a lot. We got one right here also in this river bush.
Oh, the flash ultimate mid onto Ziggs, followed up by the AoE damage from Ocelot. Can he get in range? He didn't get the ultimate onto Ziggs, so it is going to be on Lee Sin. They're not going to be able to pick up that kill.
They can get Dragon, though.
They can get Dragon, and that's going to be huge already with a 3k gold advantage. And we'll have to see. Graves getting some nice damage onto Vayne, but Vayne in the 1v1 situation definitely has more sustained damage, though Graves does have excellent burst.
So SK here, all 5 members trying to take down this Dragon. It is warded. And the Ziggs bomb, I think they got it.
No,
I think they got
SK was able to pick it up, so the smite there from Nautilus, very effective play, just timing that effectively. Yep. Nautilus trying to come in on Renekton, but not able to get him, and so everyone will go back to farming, and so we do have a further gold advantage for SK at this point.
So now we got Kevin laying in wait on the mid. We might try and get something going on Ziggs once again. They want to take down that tower, but actually got Graves here trying to go in on Vayne being pushed away, but they're going to go ahead and back off, let the lane push once again, let the creeps go on. And Limelight here, he knows something's up. Ward going down. He puts down the ward, gets ulted by Warwick immediately, but flashes away, just doesn't get focused down by Ocelot. Now he's running. Both members of SK are trying to go around and pinch him in, but Saragbot is here to help try and rescue him. We got the Q, waits for the pool to come back up before we finish up on the Q, and it looks like Ocelot has now gone a little bit too deep into enemy territory. Kevin just like, you know what, you're way too far in there. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, Ziggs was able to get out of there very effectively. Just has so much mobility, even for a mid champion. So Ocelot really just pushing it a little bit too hard, trying to pick up those kills. We do have the Oracles on Alistar, so going along with how aggressive their team is and all the aggressive ganks from Nautilus, if Alistar can clear some of these wards, and there are quite a few.
There's a lot of them.
they will have great map control
Yep.
and be able to be extremely aggressive as it progresses. We'll see whether or not Alistar, starts tower diving a little bit. He does have that ultimate to come off, but Lee Sin coming mid, we'll see what kind of damage they can do on Nautilus. He is pretty tanky, but we do
He's
have the
pretty
stun,
far
and
out.
there's Ziggs. He's actually going to have to use his flash, and then
Oh!
the anchor missing. He's
Missing the
trying to
wall.
get out of there, so Lee Sin should be able to get the Q combo. There's the ultimate knocking back. He probably could have targeted Ziggs, but the flash from Soraka bot going to be able to get the kick backwards
Nice.
into the rest of his team, able to pick that up. And Graves actually exchanging damage very well with Vayne right now and has the Soraka for the support.
See, now we're seeing SK overextending just a little bit. They still have a pretty decent lead, but they can't be going off into enemy territory like that alone, knowing that crowd control has enough crowd control to take them down individually. So if they keep getting caught off guard, if they keep being singled out, crowd control could take back this game. And we're very closely, getting to that point in about like 5-10 minutes where if one member of SK dies, they could grab Baron.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. I mean, Warwick obviously is tanky enough where he could, almost solo Baron at this point. He doesn't have any damage, so
Yeah.
obviously it would take him a very long time. But the rest of his team does have the damage to back him up, so they have a very safe Baron at this point. So it will be very difficult for, crowd control to defend it if they get down at all. So any kills could turn into that. But at the same time, there's always the potential for crowd control to get a Baron or something. They do have, pretty effective Ziggs play so far. He's 2-1-2. He is pretty farmed. He will have that ranged AoE damage, so we'll have to see how he factors into things. And then couple that with Lee Sin, they can pick up solo kills very well. And despite the early advantages, I would think, for Vayne, Graves has been doing very well, has been very effective in that bottom lane, and is actually going for a Phantom Dancer build after the early wriggles into Doran's.
And I also got to talk a little bit about top lane as well, because despite the early denies onto Renekton, he's actually about to hit 13.
Oh, but bottom lane, we actually see Vayne going to use the Condemn to get him out of there because she saw Lee Sin coming, so they will be able to back out of there. The Q from Sorakabot is going to miss Alistar. It looked like he was almost going to get in range of Graves for a second there, but they will be safe for a moment.
Yeah, but Renekton, so like I was saying before, Renekton has done a pretty good job catching up to Warwick top lane despite dying quite a few times. We got 3 assists on him. We're doing pretty good on our own. And we got SK here now grouping up around the dragon area once again because we see blue is available for crowd control, but they have their own nice defensive ward placed here. And also going for it, we get
wow.
the dash from Graves, really just get him out of the way of that huge anchor, and a bomb doing a little bit of damage, cannot take back their own blue. SK will take down that ward as well on their way out. And now I think we may be seeing full pursuit. Yes, we got the Q. Will he pursue? Yes, he will. Flash away from Alistar. We're going to focus down. We got the bombs coming in from Ziggs to try and pick off anyone at the end of the line. Defensive ward going down into Tribush, and crowd control will back off.
And the big thing is Ziggs just, he's got so much spam ability, he really needs a lot of mana. So both the cooldown reduction in order for him to poke them down and have a lot of control is huge, but the mana regen is going to be huge as well because Ziggs has gone for a Doran's build, so he has mana regen, but he doesn't have a very large mana pool. So losing that blue buff is going to, hurt him a lot as far as mid-game damage is going to be concerned. If he runs out of mana early in fights, then very quickly he might not be effective, but we do have the pull on the Sorakabot. There's the ult on the Ziggs, but it is going to grab Sorakabot, and she is going to go down. I don't know why I say she. It's the
Soraka.
names.
It's the name
throws me off.
confusion. That's what it is.
But regardless, able to pick up a kill, and we'll have to see where it goes. But we've got a lot of damage on all of SK. We have Ocelot chasing Limelight, while in the meantime they're chasing Graves back bot, but he is going to turn into him, and Warwick duking it out with Renekton in that top lane.
So Renekton now being a little bit more defensive, but we may see a dive come in here on the lively. We got Nautilus, we got Warwick coming from behind. He's tanking the turret, trying to get in. Can we get the? You got the ult, didn't even need to flash any anchor. Yes, wonderful wombo combo there to take down Ziggs. We got the ult, we got the grab. That's all you needed.
And so even though, Warwick hasn't really been building damage at all, he knows he can just build pure tank, and they have enough damage to back it up. And that's the big thing with their team, is they have these 3 frontline tanks that don't need to build any damage, and they have enough CCs to control for both Vayne and Vladimir as these fights progress. They are coming down for this dragon now, and crowd control is nowhere in sight, so they will be able to take this pretty easily and continue their gold advantage.
Ziggs is down, mid tower's down. They have waves pushing at top lane. They just had their presence bot lane, and SK is here. They have enough damage, and he took it pretty quick. Alistar here is like, oh, nice little lollipop. Oh, Graves is their gun. Okay, wait, is he going to finish it? Can we? Yes. For a second there, I thought we just like have like everyone from crowd control coming down. I was like, oh, there's a cow here. He's eating this ward. Let's get him. But not just a little bit extra harass. Just want to make their presence known. It's like, oh no, the guns don't scare me. We're good.
Yeah, and Vladimir going back, he's going to be able to pick up that realize now. So with the realize and the revolver, there it is. He is going to have tons of damage coming out, and then also the soft CC and the health. It's going to be so difficult for crowd control to take him down. So, even though they've stayed pretty even with this game, when it comes to team fights, SK just has such a superior advantage. So what does crowd control have? They obviously have the poke from Ziggs, and they have a lot of single target bursts. So if they can, burst down either Vayne or Vladimir, that's always an option. But the concern is that because, like we said earlier, SK has a really strong Baron team as well. Mm-hmm. If SK starts forcing fights, then very quickly they can put themselves in a position. Obviously, they don't want to just force a Baron because the AoE from Ziggs could very quickly, turn that around for them while they're all grouped up. But that is a threat right now.
So we actually see right now crowd control. They're actually bundling up around the Baron area because their vision is a little bit stifled, and they have an inkling that SK may actually be going for Baron sometime soon, but we got the Warwick ult coming in down onto Renekton. We got Vayne push him away a little bit too far to try and secure the kill, and Dragon Kick from Lee Sin will push everyone away, but yes, Vayne will be able to catch up. She has the ult on, managed to go ahead and finish that off, but we got Nautilus here now in pursuit of Graves here in their own jungle. Limelight and Soraka coming in here to help bomb throw, take a little bit extra help, but Ocelot is here to throw down the ult onto Graves. Will be able to die? Yes, he will, but Ocelot will he be able to get away? No, but Soraka will die in the process as well. It's the 1 for 3 here in the favor of SK. They're going to go ahead and take down this tier 2 tower as well. They may push down, may continue to push into the tier 3, possibly even into inhibitor, but you know what? We got the Shirelius popped. They're making a zoom directly into Baron area. We're taking down all wards. We kind of forgot that one for a second there. Yes, and now Baron for SK. They're going to go for it.
Oh, but Candy Panda waiting, trying to bait them in. They know that Ziggs is going to want to throw some AoE damage at them and harass them down some. So they know their team is pretty safe. So he's going to sit back there, try and pick up some kills. Now he's coming in for the Baron, and this should be a pretty easy Baron. All of their team is tanky enough. They shouldn't have to worry too much about the Ziggs damage. The concern is if they don't do it fast enough, but they should have plenty of time. Renekton might jump in here, but there's really no reason.
Nope.
So there it is. They're able to pick up the Baron and get out of there. And it's interesting. Right now, SK's team, they've got a pretty short-range team. 3 melee, and then Vayne is obviously a short-range AD carry. Yeah. And then going against Ziggs has enough AoE damage where he can just quickly clear the creep waves. And usually that would be a huge recipe for not being able to push in a game like this. It would make it very difficult for SK to take any towers or push inhibitors or whatnot. But because of how tanky their frontline is, they can just walk right up there, tank the turrets very easily. They don't have to worry about the waves being down. So, we won't necessarily see this game stall out as much as it normally would. Yep. But that is always a concern that Ziggs can, stall the game, slow it down a little bit, let them get farm, and try and wear down SK while they're sitting at the towers with his long-range poke.
Yep, we got Alistar. We have the Alistar ult. We have the Nautilus shield. We got Vladimir being himself, doing his lifesteal thing with his item build. Fantastic work, and he's got himself a Zhonya's as well. That's pretty incredible for him to just be in the middle of a fight to help him gain even more sustains. Like, I'm just going to stand here while my cooldowns go down, and there's nothing you can do about it. So right now, crowd control, they know they're on a defensive. They're facing up against an SK team with Baron buff. Incredibly scary right now. Candy Panda pushing down bot lane by himself, tumbling away just so he doesn't get caught by crowd control. And they're being quite aggressive considering how far they're behind right now. They're traveling in a group. They're in their own jungle. They're not playing behind tower.
They know that Warwick is top. They know they have plenty of AoE damage with the Ziggs, so they want to be able to pick up kills whenever they can. Right now, Kevin is coming down, so he does have a lot of control in that top lane. Top lane is pushing for him, so he knows he can set it off, but he knows the fight's coming in. There's Soraka bot jumping onto a ward. He's actually, Nif is way out of position here. Did have to throw off the ultimate already, so he's very close to going down. We have Nautilus able to pick up the kills. Vayne grabbing Soraka there, but actually Fart and Limelight, they're going to have to back off, and all that AoE damage from Vladimir is going to pick him up, and very quickly this fight has snowballed out of control for SK. There it is, Soraka bot going to go down,
5 for free.
And an ace for SK. It was slow and it was steady throughout the beginning of that fight. It looked like crowd control was going to be able to do okay because they had been able to kite back a little bit. They were able to get, Nif to burn his ultimate, but then no damage following up on it, and all of that damage from Vladimir. Ocelot just so strong at this point in the game, having the Zonias to couple with his relays, and then couple that with Vayne, and their comp is just so strong for team fights at this point in the game.
Yep, crowd control is just now starting to respond. Soraka's up, not going to be able to do a whole lot. We're just going to go ahead and sequentially take out all of these towers, all of these inhibitors. We should be pushing for game here. Nif is just going ahead and taking the tower. Doesn't got a care in the world. We got Baron buff and all of our members, so we just aced him. There's going to be no problem, and they're just going to do this nice and methodical, taking 2 inhibitors. They're just going to take down every objective just to be sure, because they could if they really wanted to have gone and pushed straight for Nexus after that bottom inhibitor. We're like, hey, you know what? This is for IPL5. This is a qualifier spot. This may be round of 32, but we got to secure what we can and make sure that we do not screw this up, because anything can happen. But you know what? We still got Baron buff. We're going to use it. This is about 75% done, but they should be able to do everything they need to right here. Last tier 3 tower standing, and Limelight
in on Ziggs. There's the ultimate, and then the quick condemn into the wall.
1, 2, 3, 3-hit combo, and he's dead. Here, the last tier 3, and crowd control is just falling apart, and SK should be able to take this game pretty convincingly. Everyone's down except for Renekton. He's almost died at spawn, and we'll give him something. We'll give him one. We'll give him something to write home about. But SK here, we're going to take out this last inhibitor, go on, and there's a surrender vote. GG. Game 1 goes to SK.